A few. On this holiday week, we'd like to send our wishes out for everybody to have a great Thanksgiving and a chance to get together with your family and the loved ones, and I hope everybody can stay safe and take care of each other and all of that. We'll have a chance to get our guys an opportunity tomorrow to celebrate Thanksgiving, which I'm grateful for that we're playing Monday night. It works out well. But we want to send out a really good thought about the gratitude and about appreciating one another, and that's kind of where we started today. We got a matchup with Washington, and we find them at a time when they've played two really good football games against good teams and got good solid wins, and I'm sure they're feeling really excited about where they're going, and they looked really solid and a really well-balanced team, very much like we've seen Ron's teams over the years, where they're good on teams, they're good on defense, and they move it on offense, and they have a real nice system going. And so we're up against a good club, and unfortunately we catch them where they're hot and they're going and all that. We have got to do a really nice job this week and learn. Really, it still feels like a new team to us, even though we played them a year ago. It still feels like a new team with some new faces and stuff playing for them. So we've got to learn them and make sure we do a nice job adapting this week and get our plan ready. We got a lot of work to do, and we have our hopes are high to really play good football and get a good game under. On this Monday night coming up, and always looking forward to those those fun opportunities. Go across the country. It's been pretty good to us in the past. We're going to try to make it good again.
You mentioned the balance that Washington has shown. They're coming off their two best games. What else is it about the way that their offense has turned recently?
Well, Taylor Heinicke is playing good. He's playing good football for him. He's been real resourceful. He's obviously in charge of their offense and can throw all of the stuff they're asking him to throw. But he's run the ball 40-something times, and he's got a good average there. He's not just escaping on scrambles, but reading option opportunities and stuff like that. He does a good job. So he's truly a double threat for us in that regard. And Antonio's a really good running back. Terry's a terrific receiver. Everywhere you look, they've got players that can do good stuff, and they're a little banged up too, on the defensive side of the ball with a couple really highlighted players out, but they've played really well and adapted well already. So, they got their act together, and they look like a good football team, like I said.
With Terry, he leads the league in contested catches. How would you see him? And I guess what makes that such a skill set of his?
He's really fast, so he's always got he's got the edge on the opportunities always. He's a really good athlete, really powerful, explosive athlete that gets off the ground really well, and he's real. You can see and feel the strength of him. He doesn't get knocked around when he's going to play the ball, and so. They know how to put the ball up to him and utilize him. He's been legitimately, what people thought he would be coming out of the draft, and he's a big-time player.
Expect DJ Reed back this week?
We'll see if he's going to practice today. We'll see how he does, and we'll let you know. This is the day we don't have to really commit on the injuries and stuff, so I really won't have many updates, but we'll see how that goes. So when we have our press conference tomorrow, we can talk about it. Okay.
God.
We're not commenting on injuries right now because we don't have to. So I don't have any updates for you. Sorry.
How would you assess Shane Waldron? I know it's been a weird year with no Russell for a few games and all that kind of stuff, but just when you look at
it's been a challenge. It's been a challenging year for us. We haven't been as consistent as we wanted to be, and we have a lot of things that we can do in our offense and a lot of stuff that we really like. But we have to be able to reap the benefits of those opportunities by completing our drives, and that goes back to the third down stuff as well as our efficiency on first and second down. But the easy focus for us is to look at third down and see that if we make 2 or 3 more a game, it gives us 2 or 3 more drives, and that's what we need. So I think it's been a real challenge for him in that the quarterback moving out and the tailback's not being available and all that as we had planned it, and so but. I think he's doing a really good job. I love the work and the approach and the style and what we're trying to get done. And I'm very hopeful that we're going to see us really take off in the last 7 weeks here.
When you look at some of those third downs, I think it was Monday you said, got to get the ball to Carroll, Tyler, DK. When you look at those third downs, why isn't that happening?
We haven't converted. It's one reason or another. It's whether it's the opportunity, it's the throw, it's the route. That's what we've intended to do the whole time. And so I'm disappointed that I can't tell you that we're getting it done. So that's we are resigned to the thought that that's a really good thought, and so we're going to keep working on it.
Coach, how do you work on that in practice? Is it a change of philosophy? Is it just better execution? What do you work on specifically?
We work on it every week, and so that's not the part that we can change a whole lot because we're already getting the reps and all. We've got to execute better and hit it, and so got to get Russ in a groove and got to get those guys in a groove too, so that we're really counting on each other to come through when the time calls for it.
Simplifying of anything in terms of the game plan or anything like that? Or?
Often simplifying is a way we go, and to make sure that we're getting enough turns and enough reps at stuff. And so we have trimmed some things a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So we're hoping that we'll reap the benefits of that.
Quandre is leading the NFC in Pro Bowl votes right now for free safeties. What the season he's had.
Tell me what is he leading in?
NFC free safeties in Pro Bowl votes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well. I think he shows who he is every time we go out. He shows that he's a terrific deep defender. He's an alley player that just shows up with such style, and there's only a couple guys in the league that play like he plays. His tackling has been excellent. His playmaking has been really good, and he continues to be, it's obvious that he's a really good player. More than that, this isn't what the vote generates, but his leadership for us and with our guys and keeping it together and running the show back there is really apparent, and it's great that he's getting recognized.
When it comes to snaps across the defensive line, Alton Robinson hasn't seen a whole lot of time. Is that something you would like to see more of? Is it just a function of?
We would like to see him more on third downs. Yeah, we want to see him in the passing situations and when we're in the 2-minute situations and in third down situations, he's going to get more turns.
Carlos Dunlap didn't play maybe as many snaps as he usually does on Sunday. Was it just kind of
we're working the rotations a little differently in that game. We're going to continue to tweak some stuff here, and part of that is Alton's opportunities, but he's alive for us when we need him to be a factor.
How would you assess Carlos' season to this point?
He's been a little quiet numbers-wise, We'd like to see that, you would just like to see more production, but he's been consistent with the way he brings it. He's a power rusher, and he does break down the pocket and does give us some, that push that we need. Unfortunately, he just hasn't had the whatever. Those guys are all living and dying by their sacks, and the numbers aren't there for him.
Has he been bothered at all by the foot thing that he had last year?
No. That's an injury question, right?
I guess same thing. But Kerry Hyder, another guy. How do you assess kind of what he's done this year?
He's been real steady. Steady. I would pretty much say the same thing for Kerry. That the numbers aren't there to support the opportunities that he's had, and we got to free him up. We got to cover him better so that he gets another beat to get the rush on him. He's played a number of different spots. Been a really good utility guy for us, but. Those two guys are both guys we need their numbers to go, and we need to help them to get that done.
With someone like Travis, why doesn't he get a chance to run the ball more?
We haven't had enough runs to mix it around. I mean, just look at it. We haven't had enough turns to be able to really, get guys a lot of work. It's been all we can get to get it to the lead guys that we're counting on. He's backs up and plays a lot of third down stuff for us. Is a tremendous player for us on special teams. He's a core leader in special teams, and that's a big role for him there. So, we'd like to see him get more.
With Gerald, you mentioned wanting to get that ball to him on third down. Has he shown up differently in the last couple of weeks, or done anything differently in his game?
Yeah, he's been more obvious. You see how physical he is and what an aggressive runner he is with the ball after the catch, and he continues to. He's really a factor, and so it just screams that we got to keep going to him. That's why I came back to that thought after this game again. He's just really obvious with the ball in his hands that he can make things happen. Got a great attitude about carrying the football.
You also talked about Dwayne Brown and the leadership that he showed during that team meeting on Monday. Did you expect that when you traded for him? Did you know that was part of the package?
Yeah, we did have a ton of information about his character and his background, and at a time when it was kind of tumultuous coming out of there, we felt like we really did know him. We were really hoping that he would be like he has been, strong, great worker, and great leader, and just in his habits and his demeanor. But he's got a great voice for us too, and we've relied on him for all of that. He really had, I think, he had his best game he's played for us last week.
Big picture social question. We've seen, I'm sure you've seen the atmospheric river of sports disappointment we're having in this marketplace. And I'm just wondering, we all know it's coincidental, we all know it's random, we all know sports are cyclical. But in the time of COVID, do you have a sense that people are looking more forward to sports success? And do you feel any, how do you look at this year?
Yeah, no, I do, and I felt that last year also, when people couldn't come to the game, and there was just, just a less energetic lifestyle for all of us. We had to hang out and stay home and all of that, that we could supply some, maybe some factor. And I think the fact that our fans have been able to come back to the stadium and just be part of, NFL football, I think we're fortunate to be in that situation to offer that and be in the middle of that. I think it is important right now. Yeah, I think sports is really important for us. It's just because it's somewhat of a distraction, but also an area of focus for so many people, and they can just find enjoyment and find a little quiet time and shut your mind off from the rest of the world and have fun following your team. With that, the responsibility of bringing them joy and fun and pride and all of that, we have not done as well. It's frustrating to me that we haven't. Because I feel that responsibility, and I wish we could come through for them in a bigger sense. So that's what we're going to, as they hang with us, as we hang together, and we ride this finish to this season, we're going to take them on a good ride.
Has this season, Pete, changed your thoughts on the direction and future, what your plan is here, big picture, structure-wise?
No, other than just buckle down and keep grinding and keep going, and that's what's obvious, because that's what's at hand right now. This time of year in any season, I'm not thinking about whatever down the road, the future, or any of that kind of stuff. That's not what's in my mind at all. It's really just the next day that we have, and the opportunity that we have in that game that weekend, and I'm trying to live that so that I can demonstrate that for our guys and be a good example and illustration for that. And there's no place really for that.
Given how frustrated Russell was publicly this offseason, and how that may have impacted his future, do you at all have to think about how a 3-7 start maybe affects him?
I'm really looking at how a 7-0 finish is going to affect all of us more so.
Given all that, how is your relationship with Russ right now?
The best it's ever been, by far. We've just been closer because of all that happened in the offseason and went through, and the time we spent together. I think it's as connected as it's ever been. I mean, it's a natural thing when you spend that much time and you work at stuff together, that you grow together, and that's really, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the relationship and helping him. I mean, we just went through one of the most difficult things he's ever faced in his career, and to make it through that one step at a time every day, and stay in touch with it, and then to see him handle it and come out of it and all of that. Now he's ready to go, and we're a little bit frustrated we didn't jump back in with at a high level, but we're cranked to turn, and we're looking forward to it.
Anything else? Thank you.